This is really like we are having an official podcast. I feel like we're on a radio show. It's like Radio Rebel, but I've never seen Radio Rebel.
I was thinking about Radio Rebel this week when Debbie Ryan did that thing with her like bang.
I've always liked Debbie Ryan for a really long time. She was like my hair inspiration at one point.
You are in a minority of people.
No, I love Debbie Ryan.
There are people who legitimately like look at Debbie Ryan and they're like, I want to punch her in the face.
No, I never understood that. Like even when the meme came out, I was like, this girl has a good sense of humor. Like when there was that one interview with her with Disney and she goes, and I sat down with the president of the Disney Channel and I was like, I want to make history.
That was funny.
I loved her for that.
What?
And then I liked her a lot for that. And then what else did she say in her interviews? She's like, I'm always a busy girl. Today I went on a hike and I just threw on some cherry chapstick and here I am at the VMAs or something like that. Like she just doesn't care and she's cool and her husband's hot. So I don't think that we should hate.
I just feel like she's trying a little hard to be like cool.
That was like 7 years ago, any of those interviews. She literally doesn't care now.
But what is she doing now?
Many things. What are you doing now? You're doing a podcast.
I'm doing a podcast with my best friend, Nicole.
Yeah, I feel like Debbie Ryan's doing a lot better.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Or welcome to what is this? I almost said talk nasty to me. That's not what this is.
You wish. You wish that this was talk nasty to me.
You wish this was talk nasty to me. Are you kidding me? You get so many more views if I was on talk nasty to me. Anyways.
Oh my God.
Views, as if people view podcasts. You would get so many more listens. Ears. I have a question. Are podcasts counted like in twos because for each ear listening?
What do you mean in twos? Like if it's 2 listens?
No. Is it like every person who listens, if they listen with 2 earbuds, you get 2 listens?
No. It counts as half a listen.
Oh.
Yeah.
For 2 ears?
Right. So, no. Well,
your car speakers are like 6 listens.
Is that real? No, you're lying. You're lying.
I'm literally just joking. That is not. I was trying to be stupid, Nicole.
Okay, never mind.
I can't believe you believe that even for a second.
I just came back from the cemetery. I have a lot of.
What? Why were you at the cemetery?
Just went for a little drive with my mom. We literally have nowhere else to go, and I used to never want to go, but it's like this big Polish church.
So you go to a cemetery? Nicole, when people have nowhere else to go, they go to like Starbucks.
We can't go inside anywhere, and I wanted to go on like a longer drive, and I was telling my mom like, oh my God, I really missed that time in the fall when I went to Drake's place of work.
Drake?
Wait, did I call you Drake?
You know where Gigi Hadid lives and you know where Drake works? That's crazy.
When I went to Jake's place of work, and
why don't you just say Jake's town?
Oh my God, no, because I didn't come to hang out with you. I came to get groceries and get your employee discount.
What? Oh my gosh. News to me.
Anyway, I missed that a lot because it was a really nice day and there was traffic and I was listening to like 10 podcast episodes and the weather was beautiful. It was very like fall-like and I missed that a lot. And I was telling my mom that and she goes, well, why don't we go for a drive again? And I remember how much of a good time I had when I drove to Miss Gigi Hadid's house that one time and told her how much I love her vodka pasta. And she was like, why don't we go and drive to the same location again? And so we did. And then, yeah, it was
I thought you were saying you told Gigi Hadid how much you liked her vodka pasta.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I did.
Oh. And I personally Gigi Hadid suggested that you take a drive with her?
Well, no. What happened was I went to Gigi Hadid's house and I said, Gigi, I love your vodka pasta, but I don't make it with vodka.
And she said, get the dogs.
And she said, have you visited this cemetery by my house? And I said, no, Gigi. And so that's why we go there now, because Gigi recommended it personally to us. My grandfather just happens to be buried there.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just what we did today. And we had a good time. And then we got, we gossiped in the car of a church in the parking lot. And it was good.
Wow, you want to know what I did today? I woke up at 4 a.m. and I went to work. And then I got here back home and, actually I sat with my friend in the parking lot because I bring camping chairs wherever I go.
Cute.
Yeah, just so like we can sit and like, it was very cold out, but just so we can sit and like talk outside of work and not have to like sit in different cars.
Don't try and shame me for me having a better day than you did.
I'm not shaming you. Oh, who said my day was bad? I took a 2-hour-long nap.
You just sound, I don't like naps.
And then I worked out.
No, well, you had a more eventful day than me, but that doesn't make it any better.
You went to a cemetery.
That Gigi Hadid personally recommended.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
I feel like it was a little bit better.
Nicole, have you noticed that like post-grad life is like literally just like a never-ending cycle of waking up, going to work / doing work, and then falling back asleep?
Yeah, don't remind me. No, I'm having a good time because while everyone has like started classes this week, I feel fine. I feel great. Like I feel great not doing like I feel great not going to I feel fine not going to my classes. However, I just don't have any sense of like work-life balance.
However,
What?
that's a big word. You're using transition words. This is an essay. In this essay,
I will explain how I don't have any sense of work schedule or any type of schedule whatsoever. So I wish that I was one of those people who like by this time did this, by this time did that. But like every single day, it's something new. Like something is happening, and I just need to resolve it because I'm always the person resolving it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what happens when you live at home with your family, though. You know what I mean? Like, don't you agree that when you lived at school, like, you didn't have to deal with all of these other additional issues because you literally lived at school?
I think my biggest issue at home is the fact that absolutely nobody in this household will shut up for even 5 minutes.
I don't feel like I have that issue. Like, I think because my stepdad doesn't say anything at all. Like, he's just like a little mute man. And anyone who's met my stepdad, they're like, he's very quiet. And I'm like, well,
all of my family is exactly like me, so they're all loud and annoying, basically.
I would hate to live with you and your family then if they're all like little Jake Robkas.
They're not little Jake Robkas. They're big Jake Robkas.
This is technically our first episode, like our first episode.
Yeah, technically it is our first episode, but we've recorded like 2 before now, and...
Give me 1 second, Jake.
Oh, I'll give you a second, don't worry. You didn't stop recording, did you?
No, I didn't. My manager tried to call me.
See, Nicole, me and you don't have the same problems because my problems include having to drive to work and your problems include having to receive emails about work.
No, I do completely understand that, how my job, like me doing YouTube. I plan on probably doing my personal podcast episode, like Talk Nasty to Me about this, about how like I completely am aware that my work schedule or my work life is not anything like anyone else's because I'm just like literally self-employed and I'm not working for anyone else. I mean, other people obviously relate because they're like self-employed and have their own like small businesses or whatever they do and stuff.
But you don't got a main, your side hustle has become your main hustle.
Yes. And also like whenever I had full-time jobs in the past or any of like even being an RA and stuff, it was emotionally taxing and like physically taxing, like working at Chipotle and stuff, you know, carrying beans all day long.
Work is physical freaking, oh my gosh. Nicole, you have no idea. I
was explaining to someone, like I was saying that like Chipotle, yeah, that was physically taxing. Being an RA, that was emotionally taxing. But the hardest part about YouTube is that I work as much as I want, which means that like I could just do stuff all day, but then it feels like nothing because nothing actually gets done. If a video or a podcast isn't coming out, then it feels like nothing is done in a day. So the only days I actually feel productive are Sundays and Thursdays, and now it'll be Mondays and Tuesdays. So that's practically every day of the week.
Well, like, to be quite honest, going to work regularly doesn't feel very productive to me, except for the fact that I'm making money. But, like, that's really it. But I can understand how, like, a creative job like that, like content creation, can really feel, like, unproductive. All you have to do, Nicole, is just say, like, you have things in the works, and then, like, people will believe it.
And then people believe you, and then it makes you look like you're a super productive person. You're like, big things coming, and then...
Yeah.
And then,
oh, my gosh, Nicole, you should literally have an announcement, like, every other week where you're like, big, super secret project, can't tell you about it yet.
That's me before every video. Literally 10 minutes before a video comes out, I'm like, big thing coming very soon.
Big thing coming. And it's like, the big thing is you messaging people's boyfriends on...
Yeah. And then everyone's like, this is the big thing? All right. Well, disappointing once again. But I DM'd a lot more people in that video than I showed. But I didn't include every single... For anyone who doesn't know, on my YouTube channel, I made a video and I uploaded it yesterday and it was called...
You have a YouTube channel?
No. And so I uploaded a video called DMing My Subscribers' Crushes Once Again. And it was good. I DM'd quite a few people, but a lot of people didn't respond this time around. And then I also have this suspicion that people are starting to send in fake emails and pretending to be the other person, if that makes sense. Yeah, and then it makes they make the story juicier than what it actually is. Because, like, you can tell. You know what I mean? Like, I can just personally tell when that happens. And it's kind of like sucking the fun out of it for me because I'm like, please don't fake it.
What kind of gives it away? Just so people know for next time when they try to fake it, like what to look
at,
what to like stop doing, you know?
If the situation comes out perfectly, and you guys happen to fall in love, and you tell me that you guys are immediately together right after me sending the DM, and how if you have like a fake profile, like if it's a burner account, a lot of people sent me like, oh, please DM this account. And it's like a burner account. Like they follow a lot of people. They have 0 followers, and then they have no posts. And I'm like,
oh, see, I just feel like that's a horrible plan because, like, where do you go from there? It's not like you're
right,
like personally texting them or something. They're just
exactly.
yeah. Where do you go from there? You're like, I got DM'd by Nicole Raffi on my burner account, and she thought I was someone else. But
yeah, and then also when people, let's see, that was like one of the things. Like the situation just seemed too perfect and too good to be true. Also, if your email seemed fake, I got I got some email accounts sent to me, and they're very niche to me and my likes, if that makes sense.
Like big, juicy, slip and slide, gorilla grip at gmail.com.
Yeah. If it looks like it was directed directly towards me, like this email was made because Nikki Nasty would like it, like big, juicy, gorilla grip at gmail.com, then yeah, like I'm like, this is a little bit suspicious. And so I try to avoid those. So I cut down on the amount of people that I DM this time. And I think it's going to actually work out.
Do you get like a lot of random emails even when you don't ask for emails? You know what I mean? Like because you're
to my
Nicole
business
Raffi?
email?
Yeah.
I get some. Some one
well, you were
time
talking about one and like
I got
it was like
one
this
that
guy. Oh,
yes. Well, no, I got a few sugar daddy like emails. Like a few requests.
Well, at least they come to your business account because that's really where they should be going instead of your DMs. Yeah.
I got an email once about me being someone's sugar daddy. We never really introduced that this is our first podcast episode.
This is our first podcast episode.
Hey guys, this is our first podcast episode. Hope that you enjoy it. Not like we recorded 3 episodes before this.
No, we only recorded 2, Nicole.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
This would be the 3rd, technically. But maybe you'll see those one day. Maybe we'll... Okay, so Nicole and I decided to kind of like scrap those, maybe as like bonus episodes one day. To be quite honest, we both weren't like prepared.
Not you think we're prepared now? Do we sound prepared now?
I have notes. Do you have notes, Nicole?
I have notes. Yeah.
That sounds like something a person without notes would say.
No, I swear on my little life, I have notes.
Your little life.
I'm just not sending you the notes.
No, we weren't like not prepared. I just think like we were trying to like get into it, and
yeah,
we like got into it, but it was like at the end. So we were like, maybe we'll cut these up one day and like do like
bonus episodes
or something. Also, Nicole and I are so busy. Like we are so busy all the time, and we just wanted like maybe some backup episodes that we could use.
Things come up. I have to go to the Polish cemetery sometimes. So,
yeah,
you know, our days, it's sometimes we might have to miss for important things like that. So, but you guys will have an episode though. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, we will, because what are we, Nicole? We are influencers. We're content creators, and this is our passion, and you know what? Like, we do whatever it takes.
Yeah, I just love influencing so much.
Yeah.
I was in a video recently. I saw someone made a video essay, I guess you could call it, about how me saying I don't like being...
Sorry, the word essay just made me like...
Oh, poor you. All 4 years of college, and you didn't have to write one single essay.
Actually, 3.5.
Oh yeah, sorry, 3.5. I made like a Facebook post, and I was like, just a life update. I graduated from college, so happy to be out of there in 3.5 years. And I was like, was that... I thought I was worried that was like asshole-like of me to be like 3.5 years. I didn't mean that to be like...
No, I think you should be really proud of it. To be quite honest, it's like hard to graduate from college, Nicole.
Yeah, I was so smart that I just like completely mastered the system. And I was like, I'm going to graduate in 3.5. Why? Because my advisor didn't tell me that I could. I had to figure it out on my own.
No, actually, that is so true, because in college, they will like make it seem like you need... No, you know what they'll do? They'll be like, oh, like you don't want 18 credits a semester.
Yeah, they say that
because
all
they'll
the
make
time.
it seem like it's really difficult, which, you know, it is difficult to do 18 credits, but they make it seem like it's impossible and you shouldn't be doing it.
Right.
So they want to like drag out that tuition, and they want you to do all 4 years.
Yeah.
You can finish most easy college like degrees. Easy as in like, well, I'm a theater major, so I'm just going to go with theater. Like, theater is not necessarily a difficult degree. So like you can finish that. It was like only 124 credits. Like, do the math. You could finish that in like 3 years if you were doing 18 credits a semester.
Yeah. Some majors they like
works.
require Yeah, some majors require more credits. Like, for example,
Yeah.
like I don't remember how many, but like media studies and production, it was like lower 100 credits that I needed, like 114 or something like that. Whereas
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a health professions degree needed a little bit higher than that and stuff. So it definitely would have taken like 4 years to do it. But I think if you play your cards right, I didn't know about it because I had no one to help me with it. And all of my advisors would be like, you don't want to graduate in under 4 years. Like, that is not worth it to graduate early. Like, it is not fun. You want to enjoy your time.
I had professors tell me that I should be staying for the other semester. And I'm like, for
Why?
what? I took 20 credits last semester. I was like, ooh, I don't have any other classes to take. I finished.
You wouldn't have accomplished anything in this semester staying home.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my gosh.
Not
how
in a mean way. Like,
I?
not in a mean way. You wouldn't have accomplished anything, but like, you wouldn't be able to do a show. You wouldn't be able to physically.
It's
you
online.
wouldn't be able to do anything.
I was so happy to not have to do this semester online. Also,
yes.
Remember how last semester they weren't like counting attendance? They are counting attendance.
Oh, were they?
No, they're counting it now. This semester.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a
For
little
anyone
ridiculous.
who doesn't know, like at Temple, I didn't find out until towards the end of the semester when my professor literally told the class, and she was like, guys, if your professors are taking attendance, they're not supposed to. Like, they're not allowed. Like, the Temple University is not taking attendance at all. And I didn't know that. I attended every single class.
My professors took attendance. They didn't they just weren't counting it as a grade.
Gotcha. I had a professor who was doing that. I don't know.
Yeah. But like, they still counted it because they were like participation points. Which participation points? Ridiculous. Dumbest thing in school. You should be graded on like hardcore things. Granted, participation points can really come in handy at the end of your semester.
Yeah, we were talking about like while we were driving to the cemetery today. We were talking about how one of my high school crush. No, he was like my middle school crush. I love this guy so much. And anyway, he didn't go to college. He ended up going into the Navy. And my mom and I were like, you know what? We can't see him going into college because he just is not like meant for college, because he didn't even like high school or like school in general. Like he wouldn't do well in that setting. And so I think it's really good that he went into the Navy because it seems like he loves it and he gets to travel, which is what he wanted to do. And he like spent like, I don't know, a year in Europe, and I don't know, he's like now like living in New York. I hope he's not listening to this. He is now.
I'm gonna cut this out anyway, Nicole. I'm just kidding.
Right. Any part that Nicole's speaking is cut out. But yeah, he like lives in New York now.
Can you imagine you like send me an email of your audio file and I'm just like, all right, and I take it right to the trash.
No, but he seemed like, I don't know, he seems like he like loves his life because he's able to see his family a lot and travel for majority of the year and stuff. He just seems like he's having a great time, and I just can't see him being in a college, like going out of state and like sitting and studying something. He just never liked the school, like the curriculum that it was. And so my mom and I were talking about like how some people are cut out for college and some aren't. And I said, I don't think I was.
No, and that's 100% true. Like if you, and you know what? I thought about that after graduating high school. I'm like, there are just some people who like don't need to go to college necessarily, like college is a scam in the most literal way possible. Like they make you pay so much money.
Like for example, our friend Tamim, it was completely worth it for him. He wanted to go to med school, and he wanted to go to med school, and like he loved what he learned and everything, and he really got everything the most out of it. But looking back, it's not that I regret going to college because I wouldn't have met you, but I do.
So cute, Nicole. I'm gonna cut that out.
I was basically talking to my mom, and I was like, I've learned so much more just from sitting and studying and learning my own stuff than I ever did like in the classroom. And that's why I think I liked my major so much when I did finally switch it, because a lot of it was not based off of studying or by tests or anything. It was all by doing. So all of our assignments were projects, and that's exactly how I learn. I learn by like doing it myself. And that's why I also don't like group work, is because I like doing everything by myself.
Well, that's important for for any like artist type major.
Yeah.
It's important that you're doing what...
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to read about media studies and production.
No.
Like what? I'm getting no useful skills out of, reading about advertisements or... I don't know. What was the project you did?
Like, for example, I had to make one big video. Like, this was last year, and everything went online, like, very quickly, because it was, like, when
is this the
pandemic
Ferris Bueller one?
started.
Is that the one you're going to talk about?
No, but that one was good too, in my opinion, except the audio was fucked up. But
Do you remember when you made that project and I basically predicted the pandemic because I was like, a disease? You literally made an end of the world.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Okay, so I had this one class and it was called Media Studies, something like that, the end of the world. And I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but it was one of those classes that like, it was like part of a list of classes that I needed to take, and that one fit perfectly into my schedule. And a lot of people recommended me this professor and they were like, he's nuts, he's crazy, but you're going to enjoy him. And the entire class was literally based off of different ways that the world could end and its portrayals in the media, like different movies that were based off of it. And he would show them to us. Like, for example, like there was like Soylent Green, which is all about, you know, people getting baked into these like chips and people would be eating them because that was the only like food resource on the planet. So they had to start like baking bodies and making this like Soylent Green. And that like was like kind of scary of a movie. And there was another movie, I forget what it's called, but it's all about a nuclear war. And we had to watch basically what would happen if a nuclear bomb was dropped in America, like all the step-by-step of things that would happen, like seconds, minutes,
That sounds like
and everything.
the absolute worst class on the face of the earth.
It really messed me up. And everyone thinks that I'm like joking when I say that. This entire class like messed me up so bad. And I was ice skating with a bunch of my friends. You weren't invited though.
I remember.
And I was ice skating this was in my hometown. You were not invited, Jake. So
No, I remember you ice skating because you were bad at it and you cried, and
I did.
Adam had to sit with you for like the entirety of it. Basically, like that time that we went to the beach. Nicole, can you go anywhere without crying?
Oh my God. Okay. What Jake is basically talking about is Jake and I went to the beach a few times and I've never been in the water, like deep into the ocean or anything, like anything above like
we were basically
knee-deep,
scuba diving.
I was never taught how to swim because my mom raised me and she almost drowned when she was little, so she's deathly afraid of water.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so she's definitely afraid of water.
Well, now I feel bad for making fun of you.
Well, you should. You should.
I'm just kidding. I would never feel bad for making fun of you, Nicole.
No, so she was just like terrified of ever teaching me how to swim, so she never could. And so whenever we would go to the beach, I had no one to take me into like the water or anything. And so then finally when I went with like you and, you know, Adam, my boyfriend, and we went into the water and stuff, that was like my first time going out like really into the ocean, and everyone was making fun of me and they're like, why are you screaming? And I was like, I just have never done this and I also don't know how to swim.
She wasn't screaming, she was laughing like a really weird person. She was like and we were like, are you okay?
Have you never nervous laughed in the middle of the ocean? Like I was scared. It was a lot going on.
I was on the swim team, so I'm able to get myself out of sticky situations.
Yeah, that's the issue, is that you and Adam were literally like on a swim team and I have never done that.
Adam does water polo.
He also did water polo. And so for me, like going ice skating, I also had, you know, I ice skate a few times in my life, but nothing consistently. And so on top of that, I was extremely anxious because there was like talks of World War III. And I was like, oh no. So I like was crying in the corner on the ice skating rink. And like the people who are like watching the ice skates, there's people who like skate around to check if anybody has fallen or if something gets like dropped onto the ground or anything. And they're like, no, you really can't stand here. And I was like, I can't move. I can't move. Because I was anxious because of the ice skating. And then I was anxious that a nuclear bomb was going to get dropped on us because they were talking about World War III. And it just really stressed me out.
Nicole, that is actually the most you thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, everybody else is out here like walking in a winter wonderland. And you're like, we're all going to die.
Are we bringing up the funny stories from work?
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk about that.
Okay, we can.
Well, actually, whatever. We're like a loosey-goosey podcast. We jump around topic to topic.
Why isn't that
Nobody
our
really knows
podcast
what we're
name?
talking about.
Loosey-goosey.
Loosey-goosey podcast? Because we are tight, wet, gorilla grip.
Oh, true.
Not loosey-goosey.
Okay, you're right.
Come on, Nicole.
We could have had the little goose with the knife. You know what I'm talking about? Like that little video game with the goose who holds the knife.
That's not a goose.
Is it a duck?
Oh, Untitled Goose Game? Yeah.
Yes.
I thought you were talking about the hippopotamus with the knife.
I don't think that's a hippopotamus either.
I think it is. It looks like Tyrone from the Backyardigans.
Oh, he kind of does.
Or is Tyrone is orange, and then it's Uniqua is like the, I don't even know what to call Uniqua.
Isn't she a pig?
She's like, no.
The pink one.
A pig?
I think so.
Oh, she's pink. I thought you said, isn't she a pig?
I did.
I'm like, she's definitely not a pig.
I thought she was a pig.
She's not a pig.
Whatever she is.
She has like antenna.
Pablo's a penguin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Then there's the wolf, which I don't know what his name is.
I don't either.
But he's cool. And then the other one, there's a yellow hippo.
I don't remember his name.
Whatever. It's a her. She wears a dress.
My bad. Sorry. Anyone can wear a dress.
That's true. But I'm pretty sure she goes by she, her pronouns.
Okay, my bad.
Just based on the show. The Backyardigans was kind of a lit show.
I like the Backyardigans. I liked it a lot.
I really liked it. They had this secret spy episode where they like went into heist something. That was a really cool episode for me as a child.
I like Max and Ruby a lot. Like that was like a comfort show to me.
Max, and I can't stress this enough. Wait, no, it's Max and Ruby. Ruby and I can't stress this enough. Max. Yeah.
I really, really want to recreate the cakes that they did from that one episode, and I think I want to recreate them for like a YouTube video. Wouldn't that be cute?
Max and Ruby just used to be like the most peaceful show of
Yeah.
all time. Do you remember Maggie and the Ferocious Beast?
Yes. I love that show.
Yes, that was such a good show. I used to be homesick in elementary school watching Maggie and the Ferocious Beast.
We should see if the VPN that I have now, if I can access Max and Ruby somehow. If the VPN will help me access it. I don't know.
I'm sure some country has it on Netflix.
Next time I feel anxious, I think I'm just going to watch some Max and Ruby and it'll calm me down.
It was always such a good show. I used to play like the little game. Oh my gosh, do you remember like going on the computer when you were younger?
Yes,
to play like the TV
DisneyChannel.com.
show games? Yeah.
I miss
Or
it so
Mini
much.
Clip. Do you remember Mini Clip?
Yes, I do.
That's where Club Penguin was.
I do. I miss everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes me so sad. But
Did you ever play Club Penguin?
I did. I was more of a Webkins kind of girl, though.
They actually give you a free pet when you log in now.
Oh, what? Oh, well, I guess that's kind of...
Yeah, because I don't think that they sell them in stores anymore.
What? Wait, no, I think that's
Those things were like $14.
Actually, I think that is kind of a cute idea because Webkins was a little bit of an elitist game. Like, you could only play...
It literally was. You had to go to like... And they only sold them at like Hallmark.
Yes, and they were like $13. And yeah, actually, that's a really good thing that they let everyone play now because that game was so much fun. And no one I knew really had Webkins because they didn't know what it was. But everyone had Club Penguin.
Yeah.
But Club Penguin was dirty.
Yo,
It was
Club Penguin,
raunchy.
that was, I remember.
People had sex on there.
But the pizza game on Club Penguin, oh my gosh, all those TikToks where they're like, you wouldn't know what it's like to run a business that you're passionate about because you don't have a business. Because, yeah, oh my gosh. That is like, literally has me dead every time. I used to always put like the hot sauce
Yes.
sauce on the pizza, not the crappy red sauce.
I don't remember things like that much. Speaking of work, Jake and I actually want to talk about.
What a seamless transition from
Thank
Club
you.
Penguin to work.
Thank
oh yeah,
you
because
so much.
pizza place where people work.
Work stories. Yes, Jake and I wanted to talk about our funny stories from the service industry because
Yes, I have a super cringy one.
I worked in food service since I was 15 and I was able to quit when I was like, what, 20?
Wait, 15? They let you work at 15? I
Yeah.
guess Pennsylvania is different.
I worked
Here it's
at,
like you had to be like 16 or 17 to work in food industry.
Yeah, this one was 15. It was an ice cream place. Well, it's called Rita's Italian Ice.
Oh, okay, that's different.
Well,
that's different.
It's not like a local thing or anything. Well, I mean, local in the sense that it's only at select places or anything, but it's a chain. It's not local, it's a chain. But
What was it? What's the place called? Wait, don't tell us.
Rita's Italian Ice.
Oh, Rita's?
Yeah.
Rita's is like a whole northeast. Or wait,
Exactly.
is that? Yeah, that's like New England. I don't know if they have them up north. In New Jersey, we have a lot of Rita's.
Yeah, we have a lot here too. And so that was my first job ever since I was 15 and I worked there for a year. And then I immediately got a job at Chipotle like a week after. And that was like a dream come true because Chipotle was where I wanted to work forever. And yeah.
Chipotle was their life.
Oh my God.
I love Chipotle.
How played
That
out.
little video of that kid.
Yes,
Do you remember that? That was a Vine.
Yeah, we know because every single time somebody would come in, they would go, I love Chipotle. Chipotle's my life all through the line. And I'm like, okay.
What about the one with the kid who goes, an avocado?
Yep, that too. Every single time that we would make guacamole, every single person always said that, including me.
Yeah. Well, you want to know what, Nicole? At least you can get out of that. Everybody comes up to me and says, oh, Jake from State Farm. And I'm like, shut up.
You could change your name. You could go by your middle name.
I've always wanted to go by my middle name. Oh, most of my social media is my middle name, but that's only because I don't want people to find me as easily.
Oh, see, I don't have a middle name, so kind of unfortunate. That's why I had to go
We
by
can make one up for you.
Nikki Nasty. Yeah.
Oh, Nikki Nasty Raffi?
Yes, Nicole, Nikki Nasty.
It doesn't
Raffi.
flow.
Well, neither does Thatcher, but, you know.
Wait, your full name? Jacob Thatcher Rapka? That flows well.
I think it does. Yeah, actually, it probably does flow well.
Jacob Thatcher Rapka? Nikki Nasty Raffi? Oh, okay.
Oh, it flows so
What
well.
else? Nicole Nasty Raffi?
Well, that's why Nasty isn't my middle name.
Maybe you should do, like, Nicole Rose.
Ew. I literally wanted to name my first cat Rose, and my mom said no because just no. And I was like, why not? It's such a cute name. And the reason that she didn't want me to name it Rose was because Missy was actually a boy, but they didn't have the heart to tell me that Missy was a boy. And so,
did you name it? Were you the one who named Missy?
No, my mom did. So that doesn't really make sense either. my mom was like, Rose is a little bit too feminine. What about Missy? Yeah, so that was my cat's name. Anyway, doesn't really matter.
Anyway, work. Yes,
yeah,
Nicole,
work.
You worked at Chipotle.
Yes, and then I was able to quit.
We're so bad at staying on topic.
I don't think anyone cares that much. Does anyone care?
I would agree, because I used to listen to podcasts and they would literally spend an hour talking about, like, or they would start like 5 minutes at the beginning of like talking about something, and then they would get off topic for like the next hour, and then at the very end they'd be like, oh yeah, so.
And you wouldn't even notice, right?
Exactly, you wouldn't. So hopefully nobody notices us pointing it out right now.
It's probably because no one's listening to it at this point. No one's listening to the podcast anymore.
Everybody's logged off.
Yeah, everyone's like, all right, enough.
Except for Gigi Hadid. She listens to every word we say.
I love Gigi Hadid. Yeah.
Okay, chill.
All right, sorry, my bad. But yes, I guess we do have some funny stories from work that we wanted to mention because we just, why did we want to make this our first episode? We were ranting about it or something.
I don't know. Because I was passing the Mexican food factory, and I had like a absolutely like, I don't even know what to call it, but like my like an epiphany, but in like a cringy way, where I remembered a very repressed memory in my mind about Mexican food factory, which I did not work at Mexican food factory.
I was going to ask, did you even work at Mexican food factory?
No. Do you know what Mexican food factory is? Because
no,
I've only ever seen one. It's like a Mexican place with like a bar.
Interesting.
It's right next to an Aldi in my town. Crazy. Anyway.
I heard Aldi's really good. It seems like the IKEA of all grocery stores.
Yes.
I've never been to inside
And there's
Aldi's.
also this new one, because Aldi is like the Swedish grocery store or something. And then Lidl.
Oh, I don't know.
It's like a German version of Aldi.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I used to work at well, wait, was that the end of your resume, Nicole? Where else have you worked? Besides Chipotle. Well, as an RA, right? That's about it.
Yeah, my 3 jobs were, I worked at Rita's and then Chipotle, and then I was an RA. Oh, I babysat as well.
Is that a job, though? I feel like everybody's babysat.
I mean, it was under the table.
That's a hobby, Nicole.
I worked every day.
No, I'm kidding.
For a family. Like, you know how they make you babysit, like, your brothers and sisters?
What do you do besides work? You're like, oh, I babysit. It's just a hobby of mine.
Absolutely not. Well, if you like babies, then I'm sure that it would be really nice. Or if you like your younger siblings or cousins or whatever. But I am an only child and I was the youngest, so that did not happen.
I have babysat before, and I ate all the food in that dang building.
Oh my god, I love that. That is something that I loved about babysitting, though, was because I would go into their kitchen because they would like leave. And they would be like, oh, we'll be back by like 10. And then they wouldn't come back until like 2 in the morning. Then I was like, well.
They would be like, help yourself to any food.
Yes.
And I'd be like,
are you
don't mind
sure?
if I do.
Literally. And they were like, take wine if you want. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to drink while I have like your children.
First of all, I'm 14 years old.
Right. I was 20, but I was like, I'm not taking your alcohol.
20? You were 20?
Yeah.
Nicole, by the time you were 20, you were making a little bit of money on YouTube.
I didn't go full time with YouTube until a year ago.
Nicole, that was basically right as you turned 20.
Okay, so 19 and 20. Now, I babysat like 19 and 20, and then I did a little bit in high school, but full time, like.
So are you like, is babysitting your side gig, you know? Like, your new side gig? You're like, yeah, I do YouTube, but really I babysit.
I would work at Chipotle from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., and then I would babysit from 3 p.m. until like midnight sometimes.
See, Nicole, I'm useless after my 6 a.m. shift.
And then I would
able to watch children.
And then I would do YouTube while the kids were asleep. Like I would edit my videos and stuff.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. So, but I had like no free time for myself. But those days are behind me. I'm never babysitting, at least for that family ever again, in the nicest way possible. I just can't.
I babysit every time I do this podcast.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
I don't have.
Your mom's like, will you watch it for me?
My mom's like, please, Jake. You know when they say like you find out that your babysitter is like paid to hang out with you, and you thought that like they actually just wanted to hang out with you. How like shocking and bad that is.
That never happened to me.
Okay, well.
All my babysitters were the babysitters. Wait, Nicole, back to the matter at hand. Is that all you did? You've worked at Chipotle,
Rita's Italian Ice. I was an
Rita's
RA.
Italian Ice.
I was an RA and then
babysitting.
babysat. Yeah.
And now you work for YouTube.
Yes.
Or do you work for YouTube, or do you work? What would you consider? You work
I would say
at YouTube.
No, I'm self-employed and I get my money from Google AdSense through YouTube. It's just easiest.
Oh, so you work for Google.
I wouldn't say I work for them. I just say self-employed. And like on my taxes, it'll say self-employed too.
Oh, she's self-employed. She's so cool.
Thank you. Why?
She's made her hobby her hustle.
Where did you work, Jake?
Hashtag girl boss.
Absolutely not.
Wow, Nicole, I have worked in so many places.
That's because you can't hold a job, Jake.
No, it's because
I was committed. Well, I worked at Chipotle for 4 years.
Well, actually, it's because a lot of the time I was working 2 jobs at once. I worked as my first job ever was a lifeguard.
Okay. How old were you?
Yeah. I was 15 because that's when you can take your lifeguard certification. Lifeguarding honestly rocked as a 15-year-old because it was the only job I could do. So I worked 15 to 16 as a lifeguard every summer.
I don't think you should be a lifeguard at 15. I feel like that's way too traumatic of a job because what if someone dies in your hands literally at the age of 15? Mm-hmm. You're like screwed up for life.
Yeah, well, you know what? They don't care. So whatever. It made me money. I only ever made one save in my life, and I wasn't even on duty as a lifeguard. I was at a swim meet, and there are like age groups for swim meets, like when like people how they like put people against each other basically. Right. And this like literal 4-year-old girl, they put like typically you start swimming and you start like swimming in meets. Meets is what we call.
I'm very much so aware how the swim world works.
Okay, but so like they put like this 4-year-old. You normally start swimming at like 6 or 7 in the 8 and under age group, but they put this 4-year-old in there, and she was swimming just one lap, and she stopped halfway through, was clutching onto the lane line, which is like what separates the lanes, and she was crying and screaming, and they were like, "Somebody go and get that little girl," and I was like, "Streamline, dive in," and I went and saved her. But like, yeah, it was like barely a save. It was just like bring this tiny person like out of the water. Was basically all it was.
What a hero.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyway, so I did that probably till I was 18, and then I stopped because one of my, like, I don't know, the people who run, like you never are going to have a good manager and ever if you work for somewhere that doesn't have any values, basically. And like swim clubs don't have any values.
They paid you like nothing, right?
Oh my gosh, I could pay like $8 an hour.
Oh.
I made like $200 every 2 weeks.
I thought
it like sucked.
I think Adam made like $3.50 an hour.
Oh. Yeah, maybe. Well, that's like
because it was a private club. So he didn't have to be paid minimum wage.
They still Ew,
yeah,
that's horrible.
It was really bad.
Anyway,
I don't know why he did that.
I had like this really dramatic screaming match with this manager my last year. And like I was fired because of it, because she tried to like take a whole hour off my schedule because I left 5 minutes early from a shift. And she tried to like take, which is like illegal. Like you cannot like I literally was there and I was so angry, and she was like the worst manager ever. So like she said that I like cussed her out. I maybe said the F word once, and it wasn't like to her. It was about how many effing hours I worked.
You were 15 and you said the F word.
I know.
Wow, Jake, what the heck? I want to see 15-year-old you. I can't imagine you yelling at someone.
It looks a lot like the one you're seeing right now.
I can't imagine you screaming at someone.
Wait, that wasn't 15. That was like 18. It was the last year that I did lifeguarding.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anyway, she was horrible. That was like the worst year of my life. Or worst summer of my life was because she like made working there horrible, and everybody really didn't like her. I stopped working as a lifeguard, but at the same time, there was never a moment where I didn't have a job. because I would always like have overlapping things. So I worked at an escape room. And this is where Mexican Food Factory comes in. I worked in an escape room, and that was like one of the coolest jobs of my life. And I like love the people that I worked with. And I always felt like I would be good. Any job that I've ever had, I've always said to myself before I got the job or before I even like applied or anything, I was like, I want to work here or I want to do this, you know?
Yeah.
And then I would go out and do it. Like where I work now.
That's what happened for me, except babysitting. The only reason I accepted babysitting was because I needed a more chill job that wasn't like physically intensive. For the time being.
Well, babysitting is like...
It ended up being extremely physically intensive, considering that one of the kids, literally half of his face got paralyzed, and I had to like...
Oh my gosh! I remember that! Yeah. I do remember now. Your babysitting adventures. Wow, that's really sad.
That was so sad. No,
he had what, Bell's palsy?
He got Bell's palsy because he got Lyme's disease because he got bit by a tick. And I thought he was having a stroke because half of his face got paralyzed, and then it was really bad. And then that was also my last day of work, coincidentally. He ended up being fine. I don't know if his face is still paralyzed, and I really hope that he's okay. But it was just very difficult working there.
That's terrifying.
Yes, but how was your experience in an escape room? Would the people like make out, and then you would have to cuss them out over the loudspeaker?
Yeah, it actually was a lot like that one TikTok where she's like, oh, I can still see you.
Yeah,
like that is really what it is like to work in an escape room. I was lucky that I wasn't working somewhere where they were like, you have to be like in character or whatever. It was literally just like send the people into the room, give them like the briefing and everything. One time I had this lady vomit. This whole group of people from Sports Clips came in, like a bunch of like middle-aged ladies from Sports Clips with like dyed hair came in, and the one vomited. I'd never seen vomit. Sports Clips is like a haircut place. It's super cheap.
Okay. We have great clips.
Okay, yeah, we have great clips too. But they came in and she was like, she vomited on our floor and I had to clean it up. Also, she like went outside the room and she was like, how do you deal with this all the time? And I'm like, all the time? Ma'am, this is the first time this has happened. Nobody does this. I was like cackling. That was the worst. It was a horrible day.
I remember when I was in RA and it was like one of the first nights and someone puked in the area of like where the elevators were. It was our first building, like the one that you didn't live at, Jake. And I remember the Jack. Dirty one. Yes, and then Jack basically like tried to report it because he was on duty, and they were just basically like, okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, when you're an RA and you live in the dorm, if someone vomits, like we're not technically supposed to clean that because it is like a biohazard. Like there's certain protocols that need to be taken to make sure that the place is like properly sanitized. Like at Chipotle, if someone threw up, you would have to put on like a literal hazmat suit. You would have to clean it up, and then you get sent home for the remainder of the day. Like that's just how it worked. Like when you had to clean up any bodily fluids. Well, especially at a restaurant. And so for being an RA, it's the same process. Like you can't just like clean up vomit and then just like, all right, it's good to go. Like you need to sanitize the area. Like it needs to be properly cleaned or else you're not going to pass like a health inspection. And so basically any other dorm.
The health inspector came in and vomited.
So basically any other dorm, you have like a special number that you would call and somebody would help come and clean it up. But since our building was a little bit different, it wasn't exactly affiliated with the university completely. It was like 65% affiliated with the university. There's no one to call and help us. So this dude made a call, and then the person was like, I'm not coming. I am not coming to clean the vomit. So literally the vomit had to sit out until like the middle of the next day. And
oh my gosh. Yeah. That is the most like Temple University thing to ever happen.
It was so bad. So I never had to personally clean up vomit, but I have an extreme fear of vomiting. So I'm happy that I never had to see anyone
That's horrible.
do that. Yeah, it makes me scared. People vomiting makes me scared. So I'm happy that I didn't have to do anything with that.
Well, you're lucky. The few, the proud. Because I had to clean up vomit from... And it was like clear, and there were just chunks of ham in it.
Ew. Oh.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what did you eat?
Just ham?
Nothing, clearly. just ham. It was like cubed ham. It was like she had an omelet, but like no egg. Just ham. Just like those little chunks of ham. It was so weird. That was a horrible day.
Oh, okay.
And it was like not even on the ground. It was like all over like the wood of this room.
Oh,
like
ew.
it was like wooden desks and stuff. And I was like, this is so disgusting.
Ew. Oh my God.
But yeah, I worked at an escape room, which was really fun up until this man.
Wow.
Wow.
Jake is turning into a man.
I'm okay. That was good. I like that one. Good job, Nicole. Up until this man like made us be a part of his proposal.
Oh yeah. You told me about this.
To his girlfriend. Horrible. Why? First of all, don't make service employees be a part of your proposal. Like, don't force them to do that because it's always awkward and it never, unless like, I don't know, there are probably a few service employees who are like, this is so romantic and cute, but like, I do not want to be a part of a failed proposal. I'll tell you that. Okay. During work, yeah, that's like what could make my job worse? Oh,
what did they want you to do with it?
Oh my gosh, Nicole, like so much. So because I was in theater in high school, everybody knew that I was like an actor. So my boss was like, Jake, you should do this because you're the actor here. And I was like, okay. And I was like, what's gonna happen? They asked me to go to Mexican Food Factory to meet this guy's girlfriend, and pretend like we had a room, it was called Special Agent. Pretend like I was the secret agent for this. Oh my gosh, I'm like cringing just talking about it.
I'm cringing.
Pretend like I was a secret agent. Okay. And like assigning her a mission.
Oh my God.
Her and her friends. And I had to walk into Mexican Food Factory with an envelope. And I was like, do I need to like dress up? And they were like, no, it's fine. So me walking in my little booty jorts and my escape room t-shirt with sunglasses on. And I was like, are you, I don't remember what her name was. Are you Shannon? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, here, take this, take this envelope and
no, do it in your spy
secret
voice.
Location. I went, here, take this envelope and meet me at the secret location. And she was like, what? And she like did not understand what I was trying to say. And I was like, it's really not that complicated. Open the envelope, put the address into your phone. It's right across the street. Mexican Food Factory is right across the street from where I work. I was like, all you have to do is make a U-turn and you're there. And she like did not.
Is Mexican Food Factory like a place where you would like to be proposed to?
No. And that's not where she was being proposed to.
Oh, okay. Just part of her mission.
So I walked out and like my boss texted me and he's like watching from the car basically because he wanted to see how this would go down. He's like, you have to wait for them, make sure that they get into their car. I was like, okay. And so I'm standing outside of Mexican Food Factory and she comes out and her and like 6 other people, her like friends. And she's like, I'm just like, so like, what is happening? I'm like so confused. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, so I like pointed to the building across the street. I was like, it's over there. Just go over there. See that? And so I hop into my 1996 Nissan Maxima. Literally I like go around the corner of the store like and disappear like very mysteriously because I'm a secret agent and like I don't know, I went into the sewers or something. There's a secret tunnel to secret headquarters. I don't know.
Okay.
So and like I beat her over there. It was just like the most mortifying and horrible experience of my life. Like I was cringing the whole time. The people were so dumb. She said yes in the escape room, but it was just like awkward. Like don't make I don't know. He paid me $50 though to do it.
Oh, well that's nice. What are you complaining for?
Because it was cringy.
Yeah, but aren't all proposals a little bit cringy if you're not the one getting proposed to?
Which is why you shouldn't make service employees be a
True.
part of your proposals.
I'm grateful
Really?
that no one's ever proposed at our Chipotle, but there's come.
Oh, I thought you were going to say to you.
Also that. There's been quite a few marriages that have come out because of Chipotle, to be honest. A lot of relationships.
Like of coworkers?
Yeah, like I remember there was this
It's
girl.
the same at my current job.
I remember there was this girl and this guy and they never like came back to work. Like they just like suddenly just quit around the same time. And then they came back like 5-6 months later and she had like a huge baby bump and they were like walking around and they were giving out select people who are working at the Chipotle like a baby shower invite and they were married. Like And I was like, when did you guys even talk to each other like on the shifts? But I guess they did talk enough that, they're
Were
together.
you invited?
No, I was not invited. Kind of hurtful. No, it's okay. I'm very happy for them. I'm very happy for them because like they met through Chipotle. Who did I meet through Chipotle? One time I got a complaint written about me because someone caught me eating a chip at Chipotle. All these stories are pretty much from Chipotle because that's like where I spent 4 years of my life. But
yikes.
when you make the chips at Chipotle, we're supposed to taste them like from each batch to make sure that they're okay because they have to get like limed and salted. And if they taste bad for whatever reason, like we can't keep making them. So you're supposed to do a taste test from like every batch or whatever. And so I was making chips during my shift and I had a little taste. It's not like you take a bite and you put it back. You eat the whole chip or whatever. And someone wrote a complaint about me. And
you actually just licked the chip and you were like, there's enough lime and salt on
and
here.
I put it back.
Just a bit.
Yes. Yeah. And there was a complaint filed about me. And they're like, at 12:06 p.m., a brunette, white, 5'7" girl was seen eating a chip.
Little swole.
A little bit swole and looked a little bit stupid at the same time. Kind of looked like the Geico lizard a little bit. She hasn't really filled out yet. I was seen eating a chip, and I don't like that. When in reality, like the company was like, no, we're like you're supposed to do that. But of course, they gave you like a free meal coupon if you complained about literally anything. So
is that true?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
Hashtag life hack.
Pretty much.
Life hack, everyone.
Nothing
life
happened
hack.
to me. We just laughed about it. Like they checked the cameras, and there was like, well, I don't even think they had to check the cameras. They were like Geico looking girl, like lizard-esque looking girl. Lanky 5'7" looking girl who hasn't really filled out into her figure. Yeah, that's definitely Nicole.
They're like, who could that be? Oh, Nicole.
Yeah. So it was fun, but that was the only time I had a complaint about me. I was perfect for the most part.
Okay.
Just saying.
Oh, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes. Well, except one time I got screamed at from this one woman who came through the line, and I was like working the cashier, and we had such a long line. And she goes, "This is our first time here." And I go, "Oh, that's awesome." And then it was her and like her 2 kids and then like her husband or whatever. And she goes, "Yeah, this is our first time." I said, "That's cool." And I like started ringing them out. And she goes, "Oh, no. I don't think you understand. This is our first time here."
This is our first time.
Yeah. And I was like,
our very first ever.
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then she's like, no, sweetie. Like, I'm supposed to get like the meal for like this entire order is supposed to be for free. This is my first time here. And I was like, that's not a thing. Like, that's not just because you say it's your first time. Like, that's not a thing. She goes, "My friend told me that if I say it's my first time here, that you guys are going to give me my whole meal for free." And I was like,
you're like, well, your friend was wrong.
Right. That's not like really a thing. I understand how maybe your friend
should get new friends.
I can see how your friend could possibly think that because like sometimes like people can give out free meals and stuff. But that's not like a policy of ours or anything. And then she goes, "So you're just going to choose not to give me my meal for free?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I am choosing to not give your like $40 meal for free." And she's like, "I literally got extra meat and guacamole because I thought that I was getting my meal for free." And I was like, "Well, I'm not." And so then she was like, "Let me get your manager." My manager said the same thing. She was like, "It's not a policy. Like, we don't have to do that." She's like, if you really want, we can give you one meal for free." She goes, "Okay, then split us up. It's me and my son and then my husband and our son. They're 2 separate orders. Pretend I don't know them. Give us both, each of us, a meal for free." And I was like, Anyway, we didn't end up doing it. I would have given it to her if she didn't start like screaming at me. And then the person behind her, she tried to involve him. And then she was like, "Can you believe this girl? She's not giving us our meal for free."
That happened to me at Jamba Juice.
You worked there? Oh, someone included you.
Somebody, I was like the person behind the person. You know how Jamba Juice at Temple like takes a million years? But I'm like friends with the ladies there.
Yeah,
so like
they're so kind.
Yeah, this like horse girl is the only way I can describe her.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "What is taking so long?" She was like the next in line. She was like, "They're taking forever, aren't they?" And she looked at me and I was like, I'm not gonna I was like, please don't involve me in this white people shenanigan. That's basically what I was thinking.
As much as it is taking a long time, no, I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, I was like, you better not be talking to Sharon like that.
I love those women there. They were always so kind to me. I almost passed out.
They were so nice.
At that Jamba Juice. It was right after I worked out, and I think I don't know what I've never passed out before, but everything turned black and I like couldn't see, and I was in the middle of ordering. And I was just so like, everything turned black. I got so dizzy and I couldn't see anything. And then she's like, are you okay? And then she like yelled at me just like that. And I was like, just forget about my order for now. Like, I think I just need to like sit down. She takes the next customer and she yells at me. She goes, you still want your island pattaya bowl? I said, actually, yes, I do. And I like kept my head down. And then a few different people from like the line were trying to like help me out because like I was sitting there with my head down and I was like trying not to keep passing out. This was like sophomore year of college, and eventually she like brought it out to me and stuff. And then she's like, you can't do that anymore here. You're scaring us. And I was like, okay.
You're like, pass out? Okay.
And
I'll try not to. Thanks.
She's like, what happened? Are you tired? I said, no, I think I just think I overdid it at the gym and I just didn't drink enough water. I think that's really it. And like, I'm also hungry. And then she was like, okay, you better eat this right here, right now. Don't walk without eating. I said, okay, I will. And then you know exactly which one, the aggressive one, the one who like would like yell at you like you're like her child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicole, I worked at a car wash.
I can't imagine you working at a car wash.
It was horrible. It was a car wash in Virginia.
How did you get to
Virginia? And I got trench foot. It was my freshman year of college, and I transferred to Temple my like middle of my freshman year. Mm-hmm. And I was in Virginia working at a car wash with a bunch of the absolute worst people alive. But yeah, working at a car wash was hard. I literally would have my feet soaking wet for 8 hours a day.
Ew.
And that's how I got trench foot. And that's my feet. Well, I don't want to talk about my feet on the podcast. Y'all are gonna have to pay if you want foot cast, then let us know. Maybe we'll have an episode where we talk about our feet. It's like my feet were just like a little like crusty and gross.
Ew.
And like it was like my dead skin. I don't want to talk about this on the podcast. So yeah, I got like my feet were just messed up because they were wet 8 hours a day.
Wow.
At this car wash. It was a horrible place to work. Everybody who worked there was a Republican, and they were also rude and mean and
it is Virginia.
Racist. Yeah. And also people were so stupid because they would come to the park. It would rain a lot there, and you'd still have people coming into the car wash. I'm like, it's literally raining outside. Your car is getting washed for free, and you're spending. And it was like a luxury car wash, so it was expensive.
Did you get good tips though?
No.
Oh, that sucks.
I got paid the same that I got paid for lifeguarding, so it was even worse. But I needed a job, so yeah, I did that while I was in Virginia, and then after Virginia, I started working at a coffee company. Which, that was the next job that I got, which I was trying to get a job at Mom's Organic Market, but they denied my application. I truly have not been denied from many jobs, but Mom's Organic Market was, they denied me. So I started working in Philly at a coffee chain, and that was actually a really fun experience, and I actually really missed the cafe vibe. Like, Nicole, you'd be so good at working in a cafe.
You think so?
Yeah.
I worry that I would get overwhelmed. I had this thing well, no, you finish what you were going to say, and I'll talk about my experience with getting overwhelmed.
Well, I just think you would be really good at working in a cafe, like a small one, not a chain like I worked in. Like, I wasn't working for Starbucks. If everybody's wondering if I was working for Starbucks, I did not work for Starbucks, okay? I wasn't one of those people.
No, I would definitely I like the setting of one. I miss going to one a lot. Like, I miss going to a coffee shop in general. Like, I liked going to yours
peaceful.
A lot. Yes. Like going
the
to
one
yours a
that
lot.
I worked at on campus?
Yes. I miss it a lot.
That was a nice, it's like small and quaint. I went to one, I would walk to one on days that I would skip all my classes. That was like, I don't know if I ever took you there.
Yes.
You remember?
You did.
Did we ever go and walk? Yeah.
Yes.
So great. Like, I just love coffee shops. I love the vibe there. When I moved to California, I plan on getting a second job because I'm planning on transferring with my current job. And at Later Hose, And yeah, I just like, I plan on getting a second job at a cafe because I really do miss like the low-key vibe of it. I like making coffee for people. I like coffee in general.
I wish that I did. I wish that, well, I worked at Chipotle for so long just because I got tuition reimbursement. And I wish that I did. I don't have like many like local small coffee shops in my hometown though that I could have worked at, to be honest. And I didn't learn how to make espresso until literally a year ago. Like I didn't understand coffee until a year ago.
Wasn't I the one who like explained how to make it to you?
Yeah, you had to explain everything to me.
No, that was not your AirPods. That was in fact our podcast. Nicole, would you like to?
I fucked up. Okay, so we recorded that. I had many technical issues that day. I had to pause many times. I had like, what was it? Your footage or your audio was like half an hour longer than mine was. I don't know how I messed up so bad considering that I've been doing the podcast for almost a year and Jake has not been.
It's okay.
But
I'm more technically savvy.
He's the editor here. Yeah, whatever. He's the editor here and he was like, Nicole, you're going to lose your job. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
So I made an oopsie. I don't know how because I don't make oopsies, but
Ever.
I lost the remainder of the audio, but I don't think I said anything interesting. We were literally talking about espresso.
It's true. I thought about keeping the rest of my audio and just letting it go, but I felt like that would be unfair to you.
Yeah, I also don't think that anyone would like to listen to just you, but you can keep dreaming. It's okay.
I'm the one who edits this podcast, so you better be careful.
Oh, no. Like, it's fine. It's all good. Yes. So we did want to wrap up this podcast, though, because we don't have anything of substance to add this week anyway. But we hope that you enjoyed the first official episode of the podcast that is so messed up. And we were like, oh my God, this is going to be so much better than episode 1 and 2. And then here we are.
And worse a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah.
No, it's just as entertaining. So we hope that you guys have enjoyed this, hour with us, and we are glad that you could join us, and we hope that you come back next Tuesday for our next installment of I Saw Your Tweet, Are You Okay?
Stop buttering people up.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, it's like someone's got to do it. If you are interested in following along with us in the meantime over the next week, you are welcome to follow our little what podcast?
It's called an Instagram. It's literally called an Instagram.
You are welcome to follow our Instagram.
What is that little app that you have? Like the little handle on there? No, it's literally our Instagram. We have an Instagram page and it's called @TalkNastyPodcast, where I will be posting any questions that I have that I want you guys to answer for the upcoming episodes, updates on the podcast, questions, anything that you can imagine that an Instagram podcast would have. That's what it's going to have on there. So you can follow us on there and then have chats about the episode after every single episode. And then also you can follow our individual social medias as well. Mm-hmm. Everything for me is just @Nicole Raffi, and Jake is the one who has complicated @ and handles.
So sorry. I am Jake Singing on Instagram, Tenor1 as in I won on Twitter, and you can follow me on Twitch where I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at Thatcher Jake. Yep.
Wow. Jake knew that I upload my videos twice a week, and he's like, I'm going to outdo her. I'm going to do 3 times a week.
Well, going live is a little different.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
All right. Well, yeah, you can follow us on there and keep up to date with us. And also, I'll just have everything linked in the description of this video as well. I also upload the podcast onto YouTube in case you just want to stream it on YouTube instead. That's cool too. But it's just on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor as well. And Anchor is probably the quickest that it will be updated every Tuesday. So go listen on there. And I hope to see you next Tuesday. Every Tuesday.
On Tuesday at Tuesday.
This isn't like our thing or anything. Like, I don't want anyone to think that the whole like Tuesday bit is like gonna be a thing.
We can never change the day. It will always be Tuesday. Nicole, we have to wrap up this podcast. I'm not editing another 5 minutes of content. Well, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your week. See you next Tuesday, and
kisses.
Break it down now.
Ew. Delete that. Delete that out of the podcast.
Bye.
Okay, bye.